Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Scooby Snacks and Chats here on the Brazilian Dragon Podcast Network. I'm super excited to get into Scooby-Doo Camp Scare from 2010. But first, let's introduce your panel, including myself. I am someone whose favorite moose is the Miska Muska Mickey Mouse instead of Camp Big Moose or Little Moose. It is the Brazilian Dragon, Felipe, and I am not alone. She may not be named Tayo Cruz, but she is always dynamite. It is TikTok Nicole, if you nasty, but her government name is Nicole Horn. How you doing, Nicole?
Me when I forget my last name.
I was like, because some of my co-hosts, their last name, like you can find it, but they don't always like leading with their last name. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure your Twitter says your last name.
I think I changed out my last name for that sneezing emoji. Like you can tell now I'm
Yes.
mucusy. I'm always mucusy, so I had to,
I
represent.
do the
But I
allergy
think,
season and you're representing.
yeah. I mean, if the girlies are like keeping up with me on Instagram or Facebook, I feel like since those are connected, you get my
I
last
also
name, and
think in the
that's fine.
Renap episode you were on, I think it said your last name, but
You know what? I'm rebranding.
you're rebranding. You're behind the secret. The real homies know. Um,
If
and
you know, you
behind
know.
the secret today is a whole lot of camp stuff. So we
It's a
are
mess.
reviving.
It's a mess.
Yep, Scooby Doo. I've been wanting to get back on it since last summer, and obviously, I didn't fulfill a promise. But this is still season 2. We're just very delayed. We had a little hiatus, but we're back, and we're gonna
It
power through some
happens
Scooby Doo
to the
stuff.
best of us and the worst of us.
It do be happening. It do be happening. Yeah.
And I'm the
But
worst of us, so I would know.
as long as you're not the last of us, and there's no fungus zombies out here. But did
Period.
you see that there's like the fungus? Like there was like someone mentioned at an open mic that there's like the fungus be attacking. I'm like, I'm not mentally prepared to do another pandemic.
No, that's
No.
literally like when you tell the story at Camp Little Moose and then like the monster comes to life. That's genuinely like what
Yeah.
The Last of Us is doing. It was inspired by Scooby-Doo Camp Scare.
Period. Pedro Pascal deserves needs to give some of his coin to Scooby Doo.
Period.
Yeah. But we can't do a camp podcast without our camp rock expert. We've talked about 2 different camp movies before. Let's just add a third one, Nicole.
Why not? I'm triply camp, you know?
Yes. So, which of the Camp Rock cast members would be at Little Moose and which would be at Big Moose?
Well, we already know that Tess would be running Camp Big Moose like the fucking Navy. And who would be at Camp Little Moose?
Mitchie probably
Oh,
her mom would be the
probably
cook.
Mitchie.
Like Scooby Doo and Mitchie would be co-chefs, co-sous chefs.
Making chili. Oh my god.
Who do you think would enjoy the chili most from the Camp Rock cinematic universe?
From the Camp Rock Cinematic Universe, probably one of those like drummer dudes, like the
Yeah,
drummer dancing
I could also
dudes.
see Anna Maria Perez de Taglia. I feel like she probably would slay hot ones.
Yeah, no, she would fuck with a chili.
Yeah. But yeah, first off, actually, this was rude of me. Nicole, how have you been? We last heard you on the most recent podcast, but that was recorded 2 months ago. So how have you been? What's new in the life of Nicole?
I mean, I've been chilling, talking shit, hanging out with my friends,
As one
um,
does.
bearing the cold of New York. I'm hearing you complain about the rain in LA, and I'm like, BFFR, be fucking for real.
Listen, I feel like I can complain only because I have lived through worse. But
Yeah.
these LA people, they be a little babies. Like, because I'm complaining for in terms of like this is not what I moved here for. But these people are just like, how dare Mother Nature? And I'm like, listen, weren't y'all complaining about a drought? Now we're only 9% of the state is in a drought because of all this rain.
I mean, not to stereotype, but like everybody in California, LA, like they survive off of like wheatgrass shots and kale. Like this is going to be the thing that sets them
Not this
off. Their
Max
temper's
Dawson
probably
attack.
they're hangry. They're hangry.
You went straight for Max Dawson's neck.
I didn't name anyone in particular. I just generalized.
Yeah. But we have chatted about Scooby Doo before, but just reset for the audience. We talked about the one in Tokyo. I forget the name, Samurai Sword, I believe.
Of course.
What's
How
your
could we forget?
Scooby Doo history? And I'm gonna look up what you thought of Scooby Doo and the Samurai Sword right now.
I think I enjoyed the samurai sword. It was, I mean, loved the Tokyo scenery. That was a sleigh. In terms of Scooby-Doo at large, wasn't the biggest Scooby-Doo fan growing up, but I love a mystery. I'm a
Yes.
big Clue girl. I mean, some of the things in Scooby-Doo, I'm like, this is so like beyond belief, which I think is fun. I'm like watching this episode alone or this movie. I was like, these people should have died on so many occasions. and the fishman is like going for the jugular and the woodsman's going for the jugular. Like this one was a little violent, but usually when they're just like running around the building looking for the monster with no axes involved, I'm like, oh, this is cute. I get into it. But this one, I was like scared for my life.
Period. Had you ever experienced Camp Scare before? Was this a first time outing?
First time viewing, a lot of the ones that came out, this was like when I was in middle school, this came
Yeah, this
out.
was
So I wasn't
2010.
really, yeah, I wasn't on my Scooby grind. It was probably more like when I was watching Cartoon Network those days.
Yeah. But you have been having a Cartoon Network renaissance. If you listen to the last podcast, Nicole did burn through Samurai Jack recently. Um,
It's a classic.
as it is. It is,
I feel like
indeed.
it's for all ages. It's a cartoon, but
Cartoons are
like
for
I
all
was
ages.
enjoying. I was
What
sitting
did
back with my
Guillermo del Toro
popcorn.
say at the Oscars? Animation is, he said, animation is for everyone. Animation, quote, Guillermo del Toro, because I'm going to mess it up.
Oh yeah, we
Um,
could never disrespect Guillermo. He, you know, he's listening.
yeah, animation is not a genre for kids. It's a medium for art. It's a medium for film. And I think animation should stay in the conversation. And so that I said, period.
I love that. I feel like we need a period tracker. A period tracker. We need a
That's
track.
an app that I do not have on my phone, but I do know some people that I know have it.
Delete it. It's tracking. It's sending your data.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about this, but this is not News AF. This is a
Yeah,
Scooby Doo
but like, no,
podcast.
we need a tracker of how many times we say period.
Yes.
Also
Or
known as a period
per or
tracker.
nor. You and AJ were
Nor,
saying
the Nor
nor quite a bit
tracker.
on
I
the
feel like I
last
haven't
podcast.
said it a lot. Oh, I said it a lot last time. I was really Australian in the last ep.
Nor.
Nor
But
indeed.
I'm so excited to talk about. So my Scooby Doo history with this movie, I had never seen it as a kid, but
Oh,
5 years ago, the day that I was moving out of my dorm, I could not sleep well, or it might not have been the day I was moving out, but it was like right around after I had finished my finals, just kind of like chilling in the dorm for a couple days before my dad was able to like
post
pick me
finals
up.
era.
Yeah. So I put this on at like 6 in the morning because I was up late, aka pulling an all nighter for no reason at all. And I put
Self
this on because
care.
I also
Who?
knew I was gonna go work at a summer camp. It was a very toxic summer camp, but we can talk about that off air. Um,
Boo.
but I was like, you know what? Let me get in the camp spirit. Let's watch some summer camp content. So I put this up on my TV and watched it, and I was like blown away. I remember really enjoying it, and I still enjoyed it. I think because I knew I didn't remember everything. I knew some of the twists because it has been 5 years, which makes me feel old and geriatric, and my back hurt just saying that out loud. That I was a
I'm calling
sophomore in college 5 years
AARP right
ago.
now.
Yep, I'm going to IHOP to get my 65
Senior
plus
discount.
senior discount day. Um, so yeah, but I remember enjoying this movie, and just in terms of the last movie, I have noticed that the animation has continued to evolve in this way because Abracadabra Do was the first movie to have this newer style of animation, and specifically with Camp Scare because I don't remember this as much with Abracadabra Do, but the color palette was very fun. Like I think there was a lot of it was giving a little bit of Total Drama Island with a higher budget.
Yeah.
It was also like the
Yeah.
canyon stuff was so beautiful, so gorgeous. Some of the sunset stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. And let's talk about this voice cast. What a stacked voice cast. Do you want me to read the names, or did you do your research and saw it? I don't
I
mind
did
reading.
some research. I mean, Matthew Lillard coming back to voice Shaggy. What a get.
Yeah, I mean, when Casey Kasem died, they like I think he was like the replacement for quite a while until they did that whole Scoob movie. And then the entire original cast was frustrated that they like the live action cast that they didn't get calls. So I think Matthew Lillard no longer works with Scooby Doo stuff, but he's a great Shaggy.
Oh, he's the Shaggy. Like he is in like my brain. Like that is Shaggy.
Yeah, but Mark Campbell was in this as
Crazy.
Deacon Babyface Beretti. We also got him as the store owner. D. Bradley Baker talked in this. Like
King.
I know him just as like Perry the Platypus or as Gary, but like he's just usually animal voices. But he was actually Ranger Knudsen.
No
Um,
way. The dirtiest, skankiest bitch on this planet. In
mhm.
all of Little Moose.
We got Lauren Tom, who she was like Jinx and Gizmo in Teen Titans. She's like
Oh.
she was Celia Mack and Andy Mack, which I have not seen, but I do know was revolutionary for Disney Channel for having the first discussion of a gay character. Also, like I think the woman who plays Andy Mack is going to be in some new Disney Channel movie.
Okay, Slay.
That's
Get your
yeah.
bag.
Yeah, and I'm excited. Like Lauren Tom, I know the name for sure. She was also in Batman Beyond. Will Davis, if he's listening, he'll recognize her from Min and Connie from King of the Hill. She was also number 3.
Slay! You
She
know I'm
was.
a King of the Hill head.
You are you and Will Davis gotta
No, I
chit chat.
love King of the Hill. I have a picture of Bobby in my living room that says, "That's my purse."
Should we get the Dragon Babies into King of the Hill rewatch? Nicole Horn and Will Davis.
We have to do like 4 episodes at a time because it's
Oh,
like a
you could do like a
hefty
season at a time
catalog.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
King of the Hill retrospective. I mean, it's kind of deep. Like one of the characters, like partners, dies in one of the earlier seasons, and like that would
Oh,
have me crying.
that I
Like it's
mean,
deep.
we stand some like fun shows that like get into deep topics. And then lastly, I want to talk about the fact that like we have 2 of the Teen Titans in here, right? So we have Robin and Raven as Trudy and Luke. So Tara Strong is Trudy, classic Timmy Turner girly.
Love
And
her. Oh
Scott
my god, the
Menzel,
queen.
who's Robin, he's Luke.
Not familiar with Robin, but Tara Strong, like Timmy Turner is like my guy. So Tara Strong, you can hang out with me. You can always sit at my table, Tara Strong.
Yeah. Oh, who is Stephen Root in Succession?
Wait, wait. Oh my
No
goodness. Because
spoilers.
like
I'm only
I'm
halfway into
only.
season 2, but
Oh
Stephen
wait,
Root.
I just finished season 2. Oh, it's
My
so good.
God.
But we
Are
have to
you also
watch a
trying to
whole
watch so
season.
you can be part of the conversation?
I can't have FOMO. Like I need to be a part of the Sunday TV event on HBO. Like I can't do like I didn't watch Last of Us. Like I'm ready to jump in. Give me
Yeah.
Succession. I want to be
Oh,
there for
he's
the
he's in the
cultural
third
event.
season. Okay, but he
Okay, so I
was
don't know
the
him.
racist dad in Get Out.
Be fucking for real.
Yeah, and Phil Lamar,
That's
obviously, and
crazy.
then our main cast: Frank Welker, Matthew Lillard, Mindy Kahn, and Great Delisle, or as she's known these days, Great Delisle Griffin,
Oh,
who
period.
Azula, Daphne. She's like in a lot of stuff. But Nicole, should we get into the plot recap?
Of course, of course.
All right, so
It's a lot of plot. Like
it's a
this
lot
was
of
a
plot.
story. Like you
Yes,
need like a master's in English literature to
yeah.
understand what was going on because there
Did
were
you clock the
there was
baddies?
what?
Did you clock the baddies while watching it or no?
I mean, like the fact that every woman was designed as a cartoon to be really thick. Is that what you mean?
No, but I like that interpretation. No, the bad people and the culprits.
Oh, not the baddies. I mean, I clocked them in the
Oh,
credits,
you thought I said bad bees.
like bad bitches
I
in the
mean Jessica
clear.
and Daphne and Velma
No, they were all
and
looking
Trudy.
hella slim thick. Not Trudy, that's a child.
Oh, I thought you meant like in terms of solving the crime, but
Oh
oh.
no, no.
We need to
And
get.
let's
We're
move
having a
on.
miscommunication right now,
We're
and we
moving
need to
on.
go to couples therapy so we can become better podcast couples.
We need to work on our communication. As
Right?
we're on a podcast, an audio
Yeah.
medium.
Imagine if there were a podcast therapy, podcaster
Oh,
therapy.
I would have been
Uh,
there a long time ago.
yeah. Um, the Woodson campfire story from Bert and Daryl. We find out that the woodsman attacks the Camp Little Moose, and then we get the opening credits. What do you think of the opening credits song and the cartoon style that they had?
What I love about the opening credits and all the music in the movie is that it was just like, it's summertime and we're in the sun and we're gonna go outside because it's summer and we're happy. So, like, I loved like the little animation, but as I was listening to the lyrics of the song, I was like, I could have wrote this. A 7-year-old could have wrote this. But get your bag, musical producer of this movie.
Yes. And like they all had summer camp vibes. Even the score was like very like, oh, this seems like a summer camp like song on the bugle.
Whatever
Um,
instruments they're playing, I'm no musician.
you're no musician, but you do love music. You appreciate the art.
I'm a music appreciation week. That's for me. I'm like the biggest
Yeah.
advocate.
And then we get the gang is gonna be counselors. Fred is super excited because this was his summer camp that he went to. We get them going underway. Fred is super stoked. He's like, I'm gonna be a mentor to all these children. They're gonna become like me. And if you're a fan of the Scooby-Doo and Scooby Snacks and Chats podcast, Kate would always dunk on Fred. So I could just imagine that she'd be worried for all these children.
No, for real. Like, who wants to hang out with a narcissist all summer? I don't want a narcissist training the youth.
Yep. He's one of your favorite cartoon himbos, though, if I do believe.
No, because like his sexiness outweighs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like he can say whatever he wants.
But yeah, Daphne Daphne, she was there, and they were all getting supplies right next to the Camp City Museum with the store owner. And he tells them to come back anytime if they want to learn more. And we basically
Always
get a
good to
step,
have knowledge.
right? Stay in school uh, for like, and sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Barb, stay in school.
Yeah, so Knuckles, sorry, not Knuckles. This is not the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. I just can't read my own handwriting.
It's the
Speaking of, are you a Sonic
multiverse.
girly, Nicole?
Nah,
I
I was
think
more
you
of a
would have fun
Mario
with the Sonic
girly.
movies.
I probably would. Like, they're all so goofy and camp. And, like, you
Yeah.
know me, I love camp.
You love camp.
Clearly.
Camp Scare, Camp Rock
All of
2,
the
The Final
camps.
Jam. But so we basically they drive by and they see that Big Moose Camp is fancy and they're like, "Ooh, this ain't gonna be that bad."
But
And this,
psych, you're going to Little Moose.
yeah,
And it sucks.
it's very haves have nots. Um, and Fred is super stoked. And he sees his old counselor Bert, and they do the little Little Moose sing along activity. How would you describe it?
Handshake,
The chant?
initiation,
Yeah,
welcome. The chant, I like that. The little song they
yeah.
do. But
It
the
was
song it just
giving
goes
Butch from Survivor the Amazon.
like I mean camp.
Yeah. Um, what did you think of this and how the counselor was like, I would recognize that ascot anywhere.
They're really going hard with these I wouldn't say double entendres, but they're like leading you a certain way. I recognize that ass Scott anywhere.
Yeah.
Remember when I went up
Toy Story 3?
the Schmidt Creek and everyone was like, "Oh, like you're getting a little dicey there
Yeah.
with the script choices."
Do you remember in Toy Story 3 when Barbie went up to Ken and was like, nice ass,
As
Scott?
Scott.
um, me at work. I'm tour guide Barbie.
Huh? I like your
Uh,
ass, Scott. Easy joke.
um, we get Daryl. He's like, go, leave, goodbye. I'm going to Big Moose. And I don't
Yeah,
blame him. Big
Daryl
Moose
got
is camp.
scared off by
Big
the
Moose got the
woodsman.
budget.
Yeah, no, yeah, go to Big Moose. They got the state of the art dining hall. They got air conditioning.
They
They
got
don't have mosquito
DME, Big
bites
Moose
everywhere.
energy.
Yeah, they're
My
way
friend
less.
Jeff,
They're like 75% less sweaty.
yeah. 75% less sweaty. Oh my god. Summer camp, when you don't have air conditioning and it's in the middle of the summer, like who enjoys that?
That sounds terrible, but
It gives
clearly
mosquitoes.
it gets what's his face hard. It gets Fred hard, so
With his little moose.
with his little moose.
This is going to be a reference that you probably won't get. The TV show Chaotic from childhood. This was giving like Chaotic, the big dome that they have in Camp Big Moose. If anyone gets this reference, please tweet at me.
I don't.
Nicole was not a
Sorry.
little nerd. Nicole had boyfriends after her in middle school, whereas I was a nerd watching cartoons until like and taking bubble baths or something.
Oh, I do love
So,
a bubble. I love a bubble bath to present day. So
but you got to
live
rinse
your
off
life,
after,
queen.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're not a heathen. Good to know. We see the three campers: Luke, Trudy, and Deacon. We also see that Knudsen, as trying to cancel the camp, and he's really into Velma.
Yeah, no, like the fact that it wasn't all about Daphne for once, like Daphne couldn't even believe it. He's like, he's not hitting on me, the hottest, most gingeriest woman in the world.
Listen, there
Yeah.
were like not to be a creep, like I was into Daphne as a kid, but there were scenes in this movie where I was like,
Velma
Daphne.
is thick. Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
Velma
you were
too.
going a
Yeah,
different way
no,
with
but
that.
they
Yeah.
were both. They were both very hot in this movie. But like Daphne, uh,
But her
not to be horny.
personality, you know how he gets
I need to
butterface,
get
but
bonked.
her personality.
uh, so what did you think of the three campers, Luke, Trudy, and Deacon?
So when I saw Luke show up, I was like, oh, this child is gonna make Fred question everything about himself and make him feel really insecure, which I think is funny and speaks to Fred. Trudy, I'm like, oh, we know what we're gonna get with her. She's gonna like be that girl that like doesn't want to be there. She wants to go play with her gadgets and she shuffles right along, like she doesn't want to be there. And Deacon, that was the wild card. I was like, are we like supposed to make fun of him because he's chubby? Like, I don't know where they were
Yeah.
going with that. So I was like, I was on
So
my heels. I didn't know where the shoe was gonna drop. I'm like, is this fat phobic?
No, I mean like they're like as a fatty, like we should not be in summer camp. We should be at home playing video games. Like the fat phobia from me. Like I mean, there's a reason we're fat.
The
It's not because
sweat,
we
the sweat.
exercise. That's why it's exclusively sweat. Like yeah, keep us at home where we belong because we're going to slow down everyone's hikes. We're going to slow down everyone's like activities. We are not going to be good at soccer or whatever. Like just this is for let the fat kids be fat at home.
Period. Period. Count up to 10.
Deacon, I remember that he was the bad guy. I didn't remember Knudsen was involved. I thought Ricky LaRue was still alive or whatever.
Oh,
But I don't remember
geez. I was like, whenever the police officer shows up, I'm like, oh, he's guilty.
A
I don't
cab.
know why. Maybe a
A
cab in
period.
me, you know?
11. Here, I'm gonna start doing the little counters. Period count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay.
See, it was made up, and I just assumed it was at least 10.
Probably. Um, so they all start doing camp activities. They do the zip line. Are you a zip line girly?
I like a zip line, but I need to know how I'm getting off the zip line before I do it. Because
Yeah.
when I used to, my grandparents lived close to a resort, so we'd like go for the day when we visit them. And they had a zip line there, but to get off the zip line, you need to do like a free fall from like 60 feet in the air. And that was always terrifying. Like, I probably wouldn't do that as a 24-year-old. Like, I did it when I was a teenager. That's scary.
There are
So only
stuff
if
that
I
we did
know
as
that, like, I'm gonna be on the ground as soon as I'm done.
there were things that I did as a teenager. I was like, why? Like this is like it maybe was fun, but it's like why was I like being so chaotic like this? As an adult, I respect myself more, but also it might be like also related to my OCD. That's like, why did I do this dirty stuff when I could have just been taking showers and like laying in bed binge watching TV?
No, that's
Like
so
who let me run
valid.
around outside?
Bro, I've crawled over and under fences. Like, why? Why? I could have just went to bed at a reasonable hour and not had to jump over or under a
Maybe
fence.
I wouldn't have as many mental health issues if I was just like maybe no. I might have more also though if I was a
Yep,
bubble boy.
yep. As you, if you like embrace the OCD as a young child
Yeah.
and you're just like polishing your doorknob in
I
the most
saw a photo
stereotypical
of me
way.
recently as a 10-year-old wearing Air Monarchs, and I was like, my parents need to go to jail for this. But I also don't believe in jail, because I don't believe in the police. So,
Period.
but like, I was like, who let me wear these old man white shoes, old white man shoes? Messed up my joke.
I'm sorry that the shoes of my people are not good enough for you.
You're not an old white man, Nicole.
I'm
So
basically an old white man. Get off my lawn.
you're Dinkelberg.
Justice for Dingleberg. He didn't do nothing.
You know, Will explained to me, Davis Common Will, your future podcast co-host,
Of
explained to me
course, of
why he's
course.
called Dinkelberg because he's a dink. And I was like, what's a dink? And I was like, a double income, no kids. I was like, what? That is a word?
Wow, that's so smart. Damn, I hate the fact that Timmy's mom and Timmy's dad probably regret having
That's
Timmy
why he's always yelling Dinkelberg.
because he's jealous that he's not a snot-nosed kid running around,
Listen, I feel like
not being parented.
there's so many treasures to uncover if you
Trevor's
rewatch
to uncover.
Trevor. Shout out to Trevor Wagoner, an
Trevor
icon.
Noah.
Him too. But treasures to uncover if you go into the Fairly Odd Parents universe, and I think that is something that I am gonna do one day.
It's
Um,
lore. It's
the
lore.
lore, yeah. But let's get back to the Scooby-Doo cinematic universe. So Scooby-Doo is attacked by the Woodsman at night, and then everyone's chill afterwards. We get an early morning wake up, and Fred needed to be drop kicked just for this. Do not
No,
wake me up
waking
early for no reason.
for no reason to go swim in a stinky lake. Fred, I know you're excited, but you're at a 10 and you need to be at a -6.
Lower that little moose, my boy.
Lower it down. Like
Um,
he's giving off a LinkedIn hustle culture. He's like, if you don't wake up at 4 a.m. and do 15 push-ups and then like bang your best friend's wife, like you didn't do enough today.
you are you a you girly? No,
No, I
okay.
get it,
Never
like
mind.
that's a little too real. Like I live
Oh
here.
yeah, no, I know a lot of women who don't watch the show and refuse to watch it because it's like too real. But there's a character in the third season called Carrie. Fred gives me younger Carrie vibes. Um,
Ah, the only
and
Carrie I respect is Carrie from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Carrie, or yes, we love Miss Carrie Martin, an icon.
Better
So,
singer than Mariah.
ba-da-da, ba, ba-da-da, ba-da, ba-da. And you were talking about Mariah Paris Balenciaga, right?
Yes,
Obviously.
yes. Oh, what does
Um,
she say? Oh, I don't know what she says.
no.
There's too many drag queens.
Early morning, you wake up, and then we also get the backstory. So all these camp backstories are former camp counselors who went missing, basically. And like,
Creepy.
and I'm like, I mean, there are some scary stories with camp counselors. If you dig at any summer camp, like some people legitimately need to go to jail based on the things that they pulled as camp counselors.
Do an
Um,
expose. I'm
Honestly, my
listening.
friend and
I'm
I were talking
sad.
about
I'm
it and
sad
kind
for
of
the
thinking about
expose.
doing it. But and listen, I only worked at one sleepaway camp. But even as like a day camp, I also have stories. But we're not going to get
Tip of
into
the
it.
iceberg vibes.
But so they all end up going to Lake Big Moose, and they have a fun day. There's another song. What do you think of this song? And also, what do you think of Scooby and Shaggy's fascination with deli sandwiches? Because I feel like I've never seen anyone eat hoagies more in real life than I have in cartoon.
See, they may eat a lot of hoagies, but I love a hoagie so much. I mean, I don't call them hoagies. I call it like I guess a deli sandwich, but I love to go to the deli and get a sandwich. Like it's the representation I need on screen. Scooby and Shaggy are doing it for the people like me, the little people like me.
Yeah. How do you feel about Italian representation on television outside of that? I've never asked you about your thoughts on Italian representation in the American media.
I wish Italian people were real. They'd be so offended. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. As an Italian person, I can joke, and also I love jokes, so like, I'm fine. Like,
Yeah.
Italian people, like, we haven't been like threatened in like over 100 years, so I'm
Yeah.
chilling.
Um, so Velma and Trudy end up bonding, and we find out that Trudy, like me, is an indoor kid. You're an indoor kid, right?
For the most part, like I
Like you
played
can enjoy an
sports,
outdoor
but
moment.
yeah, like the outdoor sport I played was tennis, so I
Yeah.
think that explains everything.
Don't sell yourself short. You were a Olympian.
I was a Olympian. I absolutely ate the Olympics, even though I lost in the final round. No one gave me points to be the MVP.
Listen, I would have if I was there earlier. I would have.
I'm mourning.
Jessica from Big Moose is like just like jet boating around, and Fred he needs to get bonked in this moment, and go to horny jail.
No, literally, his dick was doing all the talking. He was like, I hate Big Moose. They're so stupid and awful and spoiled. And then he sees one hot chick. He's like, okay, Big Moose.
His
Okay.
little moose got big.
His but the shrinkage, they're in the lake.
So I need to tell you one of my stand-up jokes after we stop recording, though. And that's a tease. If anyone's in the Southern California area, go to Flappers 5 p.m. on April 16th. I am performing.
Okay.
Just a plug. But Scooby finds the underwater city while they're doing this, and the fish man attacks.
I hate when the
And
fish man attacks.
we hate it. And Scooby's like, no, and then they start paddling away. They fall down the dam because the fishman pushes them.
They
And
should have died. That dam was really tall. Like the fact that they were at the top of this dam, they do a 90-degree dip, but then they somehow skid across the water like a stone being thrown. Like it was
yeah.
really like these people should have died.
I said, damn, how are they still alive?
Like they should have drowned, all of them. And it would have been really sad and it would have been a really bad movie, but that's like what should have happened.
There's like I don't think this is the most unrealistic thing that has ever happened in one of the things that I've covered that is animated. I think the number one thing is that the Rugrats should have all died in Paris because of the
Oh,
destruction
of
they
course.
caused.
Of
But
course.
this is up there. This is up there. Like how many times has Scooby-Doo almost died? Too many to count.
In this movie so many times, but like imagine falling off the Hoover Dam. You are not surviving that. It was Hoover Dam levels of height, in my opinion.
Have you ever ranked your favorite dams? That's such a stupid question. I have not.
Wait,
But I
what
was
did the
like,
fish say when it swam into a wall?
damn.
Exactly. I don't
Uh,
have favorite dams, they're all my favorite.
um, Mine is damn Daniel. No.
Not the white vans. Keep those
Um,
in 2015.
but So they see the report, they do the police report, and Scooby's like, yeah, I saw a building. And they
Guess who doesn't care? Knudsen.
Knudsen, he's like, y'all should just leave. Like, you would all be safer. And honestly, listen, he was doing shady shit, but he had a point.
Yeah, no, he was objectively telling the truth. It's just like he is messing with the only people in the world that love to solve mysteries more than they love being alive and breathing air.
Hmm.
So he met his match.
Yeah, I wonder what the
Like he
like.
would have gone away with it too if it weren't for those meddling kids.
What do you think that the societal takes on Scooby Doo and the Mystery Gang are? Like, do you think they are known quantities, or do you think they just show up to random places and they're like, "Oh, we solve mysteries," but like, or do you think they're like famous? They're like the TikTok stars these days. Like, people know who Charlie D'Amelio is. Like, do people know who
Yeah.
Daphne Blake is in the real world?
I feel like they have a little bit of a profile, but it's like an if you know, you know type thing. Because they
If
should
you're
be. I
into
mean,
the murder
these
mystery
people,
world,
like, if you think about it, like, that dam getting blown up with dynamite, that is a national news story. And we'll get
hmm
there. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, like, they should get a little notoriety for surviving a dam breaking and they outran the flood. Like,
like this
that's
is not a local news
no.
story. This is domestic news story.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I would want an inside scoop with all of them. Even get Trudy on the
and
phone.
we've had these types of conversations on the Scooby Doo podcast before, but it's like some of them, like, are these all in different universes? Are these all different multiverses, or is this all like the same multiverse? Because there's some where the monsters are real, like the Boo Brothers. There's some where Daphne is like a reporter and she's like famous and has her own like talk show, like ghost hunting sort of show in the Zombie Island. So it's like, what are these all like individual stories in different multiverses?
It
Should we
has to
have
be
like a Scooby
multiverse
Doo in the
vibes.
Multiverse of Madness movie?
No, and like all of the worlds intersect, like that would be crazy. Like the samurai guy shows up and Knudsen shows
Yeah.
up. He broke out of jail, and whoever was the bad guy in Abracadabra shows up just to say hi.
Yeah.
Like I'm
And then
there.
Scrappy Doo's
I'm
the monster
sad.
of them all.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, at the end, I don't know if you watched Velma, but I do have thoughts, and we can
I did
save that for
not.
the end. We'll do like a 5 minute Velma corner at most. Like, there's not much to be said, but I'm sure the Scooby Doo enthusiasts would like to hear my thoughts on Velma. My 5 listeners. um, but we can get that like in the plugs. Jessica looks for the stolen Big Moose equipment, which we find out later is sonar equipment and an RV. And she's dressed up like she's in this big hood, and they think she's the woodsman. And Fred's like, "We gotta stop meeting like this." And then
Why
later
does
they
she
said that
keep
again.
sneaking around though?
Do you
Like if
remember
you
in Total
don't
Drama?
want to get killed by the woodsman, stop like sneaking around.
Right? And there's a line in Total Drama that Lashana says in the first season where she's like, "Here I go again, sneaking around in the bush." And I'm like, why is Jessica doing that?
Jessica is Latanya. What's her name?
Lashana. Oh my
Lashanya
god,
coded. Lashana coded.
words are hard sometimes. I'm sorry.
No,
Like,
literally, the whole English language is like it's my biggest
it's so
enemy.
made up. Like, it doesn't, like, German is the only thing that it's similar to. Like, who made up some of these words? The Latin
You're
people?
fuck the Latin people.
Euclid? Plato?
Euclid, Plato. I'm sick of your shit, Homer.
Yeah. Then we get Jessica almost plummets at this nighttime thing, but look at my boys, Scooby and Shaggy, facing their
They
fears and wanting to
jump.
save her. I was like,
They
they go
jump.
after her.
And that's a very like that's how one of the bad guys in the story died is that he fell off a cliff. So like
Hmm.
they could have fallen off a cliff and then hit their heads and became mentally insane.
And haunted the camp.
Yeah, no, like they really
I was proud of them
why
for
would they
facing
want
their
to
fears
save
though.
Jessica? They don't even fuck with Camp Big Moose like that. Is it because she's sexy? Is that pretty privilege at play?
I think so. I think so.
Oh, I'm gonna be sick. I hate
Well, also because
society.
Shaggy went first. Scooby did follow, and Scooby is loyal to the soil, but
And
um
Shaggy, oh my god, he thinks that Jess is a homie hopper. That's crazy. She
I
has the
have not heard
potential
that
to
phrase
be a
before,
homie
but I love
hopper.
it. I love that
She has
phrase.
the potential to homie hop.
Yeah. Uh, they get back to the cabins. Everything says "Get Out," which would be a future for Stephen Root, who was the racist dad on Get Out. Or and they
He
end up
got
going to big
inspired from this movie.
inspired. Jordan Peele inspired.
by Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. So sonar equipment and RV is stolen while they look around at Big Moves. We also find out from Bert the Spectre story at the canyon, and Shaggy's like, "Hey man, can you keep these stories to yourself? Like nobody needs these. Like
Because
mental
every
health
time you
matters."
talk, literally mental health matters. Like they're just trying to not die. And then
Yeah,
he's like, "Well, let me tell you the story about a big swarm of moths that's coming out of the sky." They're like, "No!" I made that up, but like,
yeah.
that was the
Uh,
vibe.
Honestly, Velma should have been the gang in therapy. Like that is the show I am going to pitch to Hanna
Yes,
Barbera.
they need it.
It's
They
gonna
need
be
it. They've seen some
this
shit.
is every
Shaggy
episode is
almost
gonna.
died multiple times. He almost
Yep,
got
in
axe to
this
the
one,
head.
in this movie,
Oh,
like.
no one
Uh,
deserves an axe to the head except for the woodsman himself.
uh, we've split up into teams. Luke, Jessica, Fred, Daphne go scuba exploring. Velma, Bert, and Trudy go looking for the RV in the canyon. And Shaggy, Scooby, and Deacon go to everyone's favorite spot, the buffet at Big Moose Cafeteria. Um,
I wanted to eat that food at the Big Moose Cafe so bad. Like they pulled out the cake, and I'm like, "Oh, I love cartoon food. I just want to like
yeah.
gobble it up. It probably tastes like strawberries."
Oh my God. What is your favorite? We might have had this discussion either on a podcast or in person, but like the cheese pizza from a Goofy movie lives rent free in my mind.
Oh, I mean, I want to eat a Krabby Patty. Like I would sell
A
my
pretty
arm
patty.
to eat a pretty. I would sell both my legs to eat a pretty patty.
You are a pretty patty.
Oh, hey, yo.
Not me being Fred.
I'm
I mean,
in
all
my
my friends are
Jessica
pretty
era.
patties. You're just the pink
Oh,
one. Navi is the what is Navi? What color? AJ is the red patty because he's violent.
I feel like
um,
Navi could be the green patty.
Navi could be the green patty because she's a weeb. I am. What am I? What kind of pretty patty am I, Nicole?
I mean, you're wearing purple, and purple is my favorite color.
Oh my god.
That was
Withstand.
me
I just
direct quoting.
yeah. Um no, I'm trying to think. Annie would also be a pink patty.
Oh, Annie would be a sparkly pink patty.
Caitlin would be a brown patty because to you she's
Uh,
poop. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
not the random drag. What did Caitlyn do? And
I'm
look at me
trying to no,
defending her.
I'm trying to get the
Don't
beef
say I
back up
never
in her.
defend Caitlyn.
I want Nicole and Caitlin to be frenemies for life. Frenemies to
No,
lovers.
Caitlyn watched me graduate, so that's how you know
Yes.
we're bonded.
You're bonded for life. She's actually a purple patty as well because her favorite color is purple.
Purple
Um,
is my favorite color.
yeah, so the cafe are buffets back? That's a question I wanted to ask.
Buffets are back. I've been
Okay.
to a casino many a time past COVID, and I ate the shit out of those
Should
buffets.
should buffets be back? With all the
Um,
tongue sharing.
yeah, you know what? Why not?
They should have disposable gloves. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, but like I
Yeah.
am
I went to Korean
disgusting, so I don't
barbecue
care.
a couple months ago. They're back. Buffets are
No,
back.
yeah, I went to a hot pot a few weeks ago in Flushing in Queens, and it was a full buffet of every type of noodle. They had like zucchini noodle, glass noodles, spinach noodles, like every type of noodle you could possibly want, and then every type of vegetable. I was getting sweet potatoes and rice cakes and fish cakes. And like if I couldn't have that experience, I'd probably be dead.
They have noodle tools though.
What do you mean?
Like Easy Bib, Noodle Bib. No, I'm
No.
kidding.
No.
Um,
Nah.
the fishman attacks the underwater group. Daphne saves Fred by like yeeting her scuba tank into his chest, but the fishman ain't done. Tries to drown Daphne, but they all find this little cove, and they look around and they find dynamite. And
What could
homeboy
it be?
Luke is
Why
like,
would they
I
bring
found
dynamite?
candles, and then he's like, let me light the candle, and I'm like, you dummy.
He's a child. He
Does he
shouldn't be
not know what
solving
TNT
mysteries
looks
on the
like?
bottom of the ocean. Lake, excuse me.
Also, like, why you lighting candles in the underwater? It's gonna go
Yeah,
out.
isn't it so damp down there that like how did you even have a match?
Oh yeah, I was like, when did they get the torch? That also continuity error.
No, it's a little bit questionable.
Meanwhile, Daryl snitches on Scooby and Shaggy and Deacon, and they speed off on segways. They fall into the canyon, and they catch up with Trudy and Velma and Bert. And
How
they
convenient that they end up in the same place.
right, and they smash into the RV, and the RV is painted and concealed by like archaeology paint or whatever. That Delma has her little paintbrush, and she's like. Um,
She's painting it up.
yep.
Well, she's actually de-painting it. She's
Yeah.
like being a little archaeology queen. She
Yeah.
discovers the RV, which has so much information in it.
Like all the sonar stuff, and Trudy's like, "Let me hack into the mainframe." Um,
Of course, because the geeky girl knows how to be an expert coder. What is she, 12?
she knows HTML and Java and all
Kids
that
these
stuff.
days, yeah.
Yeah. So they find out that it was camouflaged into the canyon, but the Spectre attacks.
I
Um,
hate when that happens.
yeah. Dig, Mary, kill the woodsman, the Spectre, the fishman.
Okay, I would probably oh my god, because the Fishman, at least the Fishman's a little buff. So I'd kill the Spectre because the Spectre was the ugliest one.
Hmm.
Probably marry the Woodsman because like if he can throw you know what, like he throws that axe, I'd be very satisfied. And I would probably
He is a
marry
woods
what
man.
yeah, and I'd wait, did I say I would screw him or would I mean probably marry the Woodsman, rail the fish? No, that's very shape of water of me. Pretend like this never happened because I'll kill myself actually.
No, that I will cry.
Well, I'll fuck and marry the woodsman, and I'll kill the other two.
Yeah.
Does that
Um,
work?
have you heard? And this might have been talked about on News AF like way back when, but like there, Bobby Brown says that he sleeps with ghosts.
I mean, you gotta do. You gotta say what will get you through the day. Sometimes I'm delusional too.
Nicole, don't talk about my friend Nicole like that.
But like I'm delusional in ways that keep me alive. Like if Bobby Brown really can't get laid and he's needing to fuck ghosts, like I'm gonna let him believe that.
Okay, you're protecting his mental health. His mental health matters too.
Yeah, everyone has mental health. Did you know that?
Wow.
That's how every commercial or like everything, like anyone time anyone talks about mental health, they're like, we all have mental health.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Uh,
yeah. How about you like tell me something I don't know, bitch?
yeah.
Wow,
No.
I got really, really passionate about that.
Listen, you're a mental health homie.
Yeah, you know what we need to do? Instead of having mental health awareness, because bitch, I'm aware, we should have free universal health care. And you should not vote me for
That's
president.
Nicole. You with Connor Roy.
Could not be being Conor Roy. That's actually probably the worst thing you could ever say about anyone.
Now and Nicole's like, my mental health matters. How dare you say that to me?
Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
just Uno reverse this on me.
So also, can we talk about Daryl being a snitch? Like, what the hell? Let them eat their food.
Yeah, no, what like imagine finding out that someone's like invading your camp and then just like
He's
throwing a
literally
hot dog
telling
at
them
them.
to. He's telling them to run to the other camp,
Yeah,
then
use
snitching on
your
them for
words,
joining.
Daryl. Use your words, not your hot dog. Oh my god, not the hot dog. It was also hamburgers and like cheese sticks and apples
How do you
and
feel about the
other
quote
foods.
that they said, Scooby, should we get chocolate on our cheesecake or cheese on our chocolate cake?
And both of those sound great.
Okay. Like putting like mozzarella on a chocolate cake.
I feel like mozzarella is creamy. A little burrata.
Little ricotta, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Put a little honey in there. Who said
Love
I'm
it.
not Gordon Ramsay? Gordon Ramsay
Next
found
level
dead
chef right
because I
here.
exist. I took his
Uh,
spot. I'm the new supreme.
so we get the where was it? Oh, Luke. No, Deacon is like, y'all. Why are we still here? Let's just like bounce.
Voice of reason. In this moment, I was like, maybe he is innocent,
Yeah.
but also I was like,
At what
because like
point
I
were you
get
like
it because
he's
he's
sus?
relatable.
Did you clock him and Knudsen at what, or did you think someone else was the culprit? We can talk more about this in the culprit game, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think all you need to know is that I was leaning more police was bad for
okay.
obvious reasons. I don't even got to explain.
Yeah. So this line did kind of send me. Shaggy was like, I mean, I've heard of lakeside property before, but I was just like, that didn't make me laugh.
I guess you have a lake on top of your property when your city's underground.
So Jessica is like, Deacon wants to go. I'm gonna take him in the Jeep. And then they go and find out more about the history of the underwater city from the museum guide. Tells the tale of Ricky LaRue, who was an OG gangster. I did catch the movie theater. It was like White Heat, and then there was another movie that they
We're
had.
clocking him out. I'm sorry. There was just too much plot for me to absorb. I'm like, I
Yeah.
have to believe that there was a heist and that we have to care about this guy that's never even been addressed before and that he has treasure in the underwater city. Like, thank God we have this old man who's at Camp City Museum to explain it to us. Because, like, if he wasn't explaining it like I was 5, I would have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and I appreciated him. He like the walking bibliography in this
No,
moment.
exactly. Like he set the scene. He's like, okay, we got to make this movie work. So I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to like set up this conclusion.
I do like these flashbacks that they have though. And so basically Ricky LaRue stashed the treasure from the bank heist at this location where the summer solstice would hit the top of the thing, and then they could find it. But he went to jail. However,
I hate when
before
that
he died, he
happens.
told his cellmate Babyface Beretti. And 2 months ago, Babyface Beretti escapes, and then they show a photo of Babyface Beretti. And at that point, did you know that it was Deacon?
That I knew it was Deacon. I was like, there can't be two fat people in this show. There can only be one.
That is Hollywood's fat phobia. Um,
Exactly, exactly. I was like, okay, this guy is up to no good. But like, how are you gonna like pretend to
Linda
be a
Ronstadt.
7-year-old?
Lin- like also there was the scene where he had his shirt off. I'm like, regardless if the man can grow chest hair or not, like you can tell when a man is older than like a teenage boy.
He
Like,
needs some sunspots,
yeah, and like some wrinkles and some
And he
like
was getting into the pools, like the lake scene. He was like
yeah.
really in
Also,
it.
how does his toupee not fall off?
Exactly.
Little consistency errors, but um
Oh well.
they end up
It's a movie, I guess.
yeah, the dam explodes because they think everyone has been scared away by the woodsman, but Bert and Trudy and Luke were all hiding in a cabin. So they all get in the mystery machine, and then Scooby starts driving, and they're like, "Scooby,
They
you can drive?" He's like,
vroom.
"No."
No, is Scooby low-key a better driver than me, and he says he doesn't know how to drive. Be for
Scooby
real.
like literally should be an Uber driver. I
No,
would trust him.
Scooby should be flying the plane right now.
I would trust Scooby more than I would trust
I would charter a helicopter from Scooby-Doo. Who
Scooby
wouldn't?
Doo Enterprises.
He has the motor skills of a 25-year-old.
Mhm. But the way he swerved on that dock, beautiful turn. That was crisp. He
Yeah.
should be playing Mario Kart competitively.
Yeah, you know how Beyonce says swerving on my bush?
That was about Scooby
He
Doo.
that was about Scooby-Doo. He was swerving.
Um,
Swerving on that big body.
and Surfboard was not about Fred.
You said it, not me.
Yeah. We get down, and then Jessica's there, and Fred grabs her. I'm like, "Sir, please." Um,
Consent.
right?
Consent.
And she says, "We gotta stop meeting like this." And she's like, "I was chasing Deacon here. He ran this way." And Velma's like, "Deacon? What in the? What in
He's
the?"
irrelevant. He's not even in the story anymore.
Yeah.
Deacon,
But
he was written off.
the woodsman
Psych.
falls. Also, that underwater city, like it drained fast. I feel like that would take a couple of hours.
Yeah, yeah. We need like an environmental scientist to tell
Hmm.
us like what the rate of the water,
Yeah.
like what is the runoff rate? I'm not a scientist. I wouldn't know.
I went to College of Optional Math. I wouldn't know either.
Not optional math. Not the liberal arts school. Oh no, he has no
Uh,
practical skills.
listen, I know how to add. I know how to subtract. I know how to multiply. I know how to divide. Tell me when
And
I'm
you
gonna
have
need
a calculator to do it
trigonometry.
for you.
Tell me when I need trigonometry as a film student.
If you're looking at the triangle of sadness, I guess. It's the only time you need a trig.
Yes. Also, just quick commentary on Triangle Sadness. That's like the White Lotus, but not as good, in my
I've never
opinion.
seen. I'm just like not a movie person. Like, sorry, arrest me.
It's okay. That's like your prerogative. I'm not gonna bash you because that is toxic. Why are we gonna be a pretentious white film bro and like yell at Nicole for not seeing Triangle of Sadness? No,
It's
Nicole
like
has better
I
things
just
to
don't
do,
care.
like
I don't
watch
care.
lip
I'm getting
syncs
laid.
on YouTube.
Are
She
you? No. Me to the audience.
me to the audience.
Me to my
Wait,
haters.
here. Let me put you on full screen. You can say it to them.
No, 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 no.
Nicole,
I'm
do
on
you
the
want to
spot.
address
I'm
the
on the
audience?
spot.
Wait.
To my haters, get a life. And you know what that means. Signing
All right.
off.
Signing off, Nicole Horn. Anyways, the woodsman starts chasing people around again, and we get that Deacon's like, "Come on, guys, in here, in here." And then he closes the cell on them, and then he's like, "I'm babyface Beretti, toots."
Yeah, the way he was hiding his voice for the whole summer.
Yeah. Mark Hamill, the range.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. An actor.
We love.
A
But Fred,
voice
Luke, and
and a
Jessica.
not voice.
Yeah. Fred, Luke, and Jessica are not there. They get chased by the woodsman, and they are in this like clock tower, basically, or this bell tower. and Fred is fighting the woodsman. Jessica almost falls. He pushes the woodsman. He grabs Jessica's leg, and then they all fall, and then they get up, and the woodsman falls to the ground.
Love
Then
when the woodsman falls out a window.
yeah,
Was very
uh,
pleasing to me, even though I want to marry and fuck him from that previous game.
this is also a small little thing that I love. Scooby with the harmonica, and then
Yeah, he's
Shaggy's
like
like,
in the jail,
and
like
Shaggy's
bad
like,
to the
"How long have we
bone.
been here?" And then Scooby does the chalkboard, and he's like, 5 minutes. And Shaggy loses his mind. He's shaking the thing because it was underwater for all those years. The rust, like it
The
opens
structural
everything's
integrity, zilch,
zilch.
non-existent.
We need Nicole to get on there, because she works with architecture occasionally.
Occasionally, and
She's a
an
smart lady.
occasional architect.
Occasional architect.
Me when I
Uh,
play Sims,
Eiffel. Eiffel is shook. I think that's his name. What's his first name? What's the man? Eiffel. What's his
like
name?
the like Eiffel
The Eiffel
Tower.
Tower guy. Gustav Eiffel is shook.
Oh, Eiffel wishes he were me. If he saw me, he would be resurrected and then he would die again because he would be
Mhm.
so shook.
So then we and Velma was even like, I did not see that coming when she gets trapped by Babyface Beretti.
No, Velma, you're smarter than that. You saw that coming.
Yeah. Um, but the woodsman attacks as the fishman now, and Scooby like crashes into the fishman, and they go through some bricks. And then he's like, okay, let's find out who this woodman is. Pulls it off. It's the woodsman. Then they're like, Professor Knudsen, and I was like, oh, it's Ricky LeBrew, right? And then it's like, no, he died.
No, it
They
was the
teamed up.
Ranger Knudsen. He was the woodsman. He was the fishman. He was the specter of the canyon.
Well, actually,
He's
did you
every
see the
woman,
post-credit scene?
actually. What?
Did you see the post-credit scene?
I'm not in the lore like that. I didn't know there was a post-credit scene.
I just watched the credits because I like to respect the people who work on the movie, and also it was kind of a banger. So I was just
And
like
I'm
vibing.
disrespectful, so I didn't watch it.
Yeah, no, Nicole, no respect for film, for artists, for cameramen.
No, I said fuck the boom mic guy personally.
She says anyone who takes any directors of any kind of photography, forget them. Not
Like
important.
literally, like get a new job because I'm bored.
If you work with a camera, get a new job.
Don't tell that to my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'd be so mad.
So they end up finding out well, the Spectre's real apparently. That's the post-credit scene. That's what we found out.
The specter was real because when
Yeah.
they were like, "How did the specter get around? Like, how did it fly?" They're like zip line. I'm like, that's pretty fucking elaborate. A
Yeah.
zip line? How are you gonna zip line in the canyon?
There's no ceiling.
Weird
Yeah.
behavior.
So they go to jail and they're like, we would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you, you meddling kids.
The
Um,
meddling kids.
and
They
then
need to like go on vacation and like just not like they need to mind their business. If they minded their business, they would have had a great time at summer camp. Actually, that's not true. They would have been flooded and they would have died. But also like mind your business in other occasions.
mhm.
Like that's like a
Well,
universal lesson. There are exceptions like this time, but
again,
most of the
protect your
time mind
peace.
your business. Protect your peace.
Well, so
Eat a
as
sandwich.
a
Eat a
hoagie,
hoagie.
um, cool.
I love a hoagie.
Um,
18 inches, my favorite.
$5 foot long.
Who it's a lot more than $5 these days. Yee dog.
As Knudsen is getting into the cop car, he goes and turns to Velma and is like, wait for me, Toots. And she's
No,
like,
no.
in
I
your
want
dreams.
for real. He like you're gonna wait. So he destroyed public property. He destroyed the dam. He tried stealing treasure. He tried murdering multiple people. Like he's gonna be in jail a long time. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting
Yeah.
for a murderer. I'm
Yeah,
not waiting
no,
for a dude that blew up my camp.
she's not also I also he needs to know his audience. Like, I don't think Velma would be going after a woodsman. I think she would be going after maybe like some clam chowder.
Ugh. No, Velma is an inside girly as well. So like
Yeah.
she doesn't want some like ranger that's like chilling in like the middle of nowhere.
Also,
Velma like not yeah, she's
Velma
going through
is
the summer.
Velma is at the protests, a-cabbing it up.
No, for real. She does not like she sees the police officer. Like she was watching Kageyama and rooting for Cass. Like that's her level.
As she should be. Cass?
As she should.
No.
As she should. Taste.
Cass. Who else?
Robbed
Petito?
Queen. Robbed
Uh,
Queen. Morgan
uh,
McLeod. Robbed
Tasha?
Queen.
Morgan
Tasha.
McLeod.
Robbed.
Miss Pillow Princess
Trish.
Morgan McLeod. Bryce
Oh,
Isaiah. Robbed.
robbed. But the
Uh,
cops.
Mm-hmm.
They always win. Why do they gotta win this one too?
Right. Also,
Exactly.
Jeremy Rob King on Winners at War
Always right.
by a
Yeah.
stupid ass.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
We don't have the time. Or the mental
I'm too
capacity. Rest in peace.
traumatized. I blacked it out.
Mental health matters.
I have mental health.
That's the hashtag for this episode, okay? Mental health matters.
Mental health matters.
So we end and then Fred he like tells Jessica like, listen, it's okay. I don't think you're a camp big moose girly. I'm a camp little moose guy. It's never gonna work out between us. And she's like, I was just gonna say thanks for saving me. Like
She's like, I don't even want your crusty ass, Fred.
nope.
Good.
And Daphne's like,
Humble
LOL.
him.
And then Scooby has the great idea to combine camps. So at the end, we find out that it's Camp Little Big Moose, and we find out the story of Ricky, like the Bert and Jessica are camp counselors, and Scooby is the woodsman. And then we get the song at the end, and then the post-credit scene, which is Nicole did not watch because she had better things to do.
I hate people that
Like
work
take the
on.
rip
I hate
from a
the
bong.
crew. The cast is fine. Fuck the crew. And I said that shit.
As you said, Nicole, she's like, IATSE, we don't care. Unions,
We don't care. We don't care. Turn off the TV. I gotta
Telling
go
that to
do
Danny
something.
Behar.
No, Danny Behar, avoid this podcast, please. I'm so sorry. I'm generalizing. I'm not calling out a specific person.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our movie, Nicole. What you think?
I thought it was fun, even
This was a
though
fun
like they should
movie.
have died multiple times. Like they probably should have died in the samurai movie too. Like if you look past the logical inconsistencies, I had fun.
Should I
It felt like
start
I was at summer camp in
tracking
the
from now on
summertime.
how many times the Scooby-Doo gang should die, or at least one of them? Like,
You
I start
should,
tracking
you
it?
should, because in this one it should have been multiple times. Like, how did they outrun a flood, outrun a fish man, outrun a guy swinging an axe at them? Like nobody died. That's
Mhm.
crazy. Nobody died at Stonewall.
Okay.
Derek
Derek
Barry.
Barry.
I love how I just assume that you've seen the same exact reality television as me.
I
Like
mean,
I'm making
for the most
references.
part, like Nicole, for the most part, we probably have. You know,
We're the same, yeah. I've
like
probably
you
seen
watch Top
less, to be
Chef. I
honest.
cannot watch Top Chef because I know if I start, I'm gonna get super invested and watch
It's
all the
crack.
seasons.
Top Chef is crack.
And I just want to watch some scripted stuff right now. Like same thing, I'm avoiding Australian Survivor because if I start it, I'm gonna. Well, I've seen like past seasons, but
You're
it's just like
valid.
a big time commitment. Like I am watching BB Can 11 because I'm a girly like that. But I'm just like gonna wait and watch. Like I need to binge Succession, or my friend Valeria is gonna literally kill me. So I need to
No,
watch
for
it.
real. I gotta watch. We only have 2 days. That's probably what I'm gonna do tonight.
I don't think I'm gonna make it by Sunday. I think I'll be there by episode 2.
No, everyone tells me that the 3rd season, like once you start watching it, it really goes by. So like I'm waiting
Yeah,
for that.
I'm
Like
like middle
I'm in
season 2.
season
How many
3. I'm ready to start
episodes of season 2 are there? 9 or 10? Because I know one season has 9.
10, and then season 3 is 9 episodes.
Okay, cool. Bet I have 14 episodes left, and trust me, I'd be tracking. Now, Nicole, let's get into some of these things. So let me share my screen for the audience.
Superlatives.
Yeah. So Nicole,
That's how they say it in French. Superlatif.
No, we're not going to Velma yet. Oh, nope. Here we go. Can you see this, Nicole?
Yes, it's a little tiny, so let me put on my reading glasses.
Here, I can zoom in also.
Okay, a little zoom in might be nice. You know, I'm an old lady. I'm blind.
Do you know the story? There was an old lady who swallowed a fly.
Oh,
Can
I
you hear
feel
this?
like I'm familiar, but I don't know what happens to her.
Okay, there was an episode of the Challenge podcast like years ago where Allie was like talking about it, and Brian was like, "I don't know what that is," and Allie was like flipping out, like, "How do you not know about the old lady who swallowed a fly?" And they had a whole like 10-minute discussion about it.
Cancel me. I guess I'm Brian coded.
We love Brian Cohen. Okay, is it just me or does he look a little like Jeremy Strong? Just
Like
a
a
touch,
little
just a
bit, but
smidge.
like only a little. Like
I'm
they
very good
could
at finding
be
people who look
distant,
like.
like 3rd, 4th cousins.
I'm very good at finding these people who look like
The
a smidge. Like they could be
doppelgangers.
related, but they're not. They're not like doppelgangers.
Yeah, they're sisters, not twins.
Like your eyebrows. So
My eyebrows are barely in the same continent.
And Ranger Knudsen. Why did they keep saying
Knudsen.
Knudsen when it was obviously spelled Knudsen?
I think like they wanted to like make sure the K didn't get forgotten.
All right. So I have to ask you a question for my points, right? So
Yes.
I knew Deacon because I watched this movie way back when. I probably assumed that it was Deacon just because of the photo. But do I give myself a point because I had watched this movie before and I knew he was the bad guy, or should I just
No,
like?
no, you saw this. You saw it coming.
But that wasn't for the podcast. That was like way back when.
Oh,
Okay, fine. I won't give myself a point, and I didn't remember Raging Nutson, so I'll just give
so
myself
I
zero
knew
points.
Knudsen for sure, for sure. But the babyface Beretti, I can't give myself that point.
Rewatch. Okay. Wait, you didn't know Beretti? I thought you said you knew Beretti.
I knew Beretti like 75% way of the way into the movie, but I was like, oh, this Ranger guy, he's up to no good.
Are you giving yourself 1 point or 2 points?
I'll give myself one.
Okay. So Nicole and the guests have 25 right now. And I don't get any points, right? Because of that. So Nicole and the guests
Boo.
are catching up. And I'm trying to see what is this? The current score? Oh, because Jacob and Kate's combined score was 23.5. So
Uh,
technically I'm still in the lead. And because now I combine it with guest. Guest score total is 23.5 because I think I averaged the scores at one point. Anyways, so let's
the
get
math
into
is mathing.
it'd be stressful sometimes. Okay, let's get into MVPs and LVPs. Do you want to start us off, Miss Nicole, with
Yeah,
your
should I start with
MVP or
MV?
LVP? Your choice.
Okay, so the LVP out of the Fab Five, I'm gonna say Shaggy. He didn't really do much. Like
Okay.
he didn't really contribute. If anything, he just contributed to like the eating of sandwiches. But like I
Listen,
would
that's
say like
contribution sometimes.
I mean, it's representation for sure, but did they contribute to solving a mystery? Methinks not. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Shaggy for my
Do you
LVP.
want me to go with my LVP next, or do you want to just hold
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
second?
yeah. Tell me how you feel. Give
Okay.
me more time to marinate on my MVP.
So, I think that like I am all for Fred educating the children of our future, right? And hopefully educating them well, and like giving them the tools that they can survive and be empathetic and
To be their
non-racist,
hero.
non-sexist, etc.
He's a hero.
But he was way too horny for me in this movie, so he gets bonked. And by bonking, I mean giving an LVP. And also, that is for my friend Kate, who would do the same.
And you know what? That's valid. That's valid.
All right. Now, who are you giving your MVP to?
So, because she had to deal with Frank, I'm gonna give it to Daphne. I
You mean
feel like
Fred?
she did a lot of major things in this movie. She ziplined everywhere. She was looking slim thick as hell. And she like dealt with the fact that her man had a wandering eye. And like anyone who's like strong enough to deal with that, because she doesn't want to fuck up the friend group by making it into a big problem. But so I think Daphne, for being a cool girl and for saving Fred's life on multiple occasions, his toxic masculine ass could never. Yeah, so I'll give it to Daphne.
All
That was
right. Well,
long-winded, but you see what I mean.
yeah. Well, Daphne, we stand. Do Daphne and Fred have an open relationship, or are they just like constantly
They're in a
horny?
situationship, but, like, in the
Okay.
worst, most toxic one, because like,
Yeah.
they've been there for 50 years.
Right. Yeah. So let me talk it out. So Shaggy made me laugh, but as you gave him your LVP, I don't think I'm going to consider him here. Velma was doing great things, but the fact that she didn't catch Babyface Beretti and like put the pieces together,
And
a
she
little,
admitted that she didn't
yeah,
know it.
yeah,
Oh,
and
you never admit
that
that,
made
you
me.
always have to lie.
Mhm. She should have taken the credit, even if it was undeserved.
Exactly, exactly.
So basically, I'm between Scooby and Daphne, right?
Scooby
Now,
did drive the car.
yep, that's what I'm thinking. So Daphne was high on my list, especially because she was like she rescued them with the zip line. She saved Fred from the fishman. She was like doing her thing. But Scooby also pulled up for his friends and the
He
campers in this movie.
outdrove a literal tsunami.
Exactly. So Scooby has to get my point. And with that, Scooby is now tied with Velma for most MVP points with 19. Meanwhile, Scrappy and Fred are tied for last with MVP with 3 each. Then Shaggy and Daphne, Daphne has 11 and Shaggy has 13. LVP, Fred is the front runner with a whopping 26.
Wow.
Shaggy is at second place with 16, 10 behind. We got Velma with 9 right now. Scrappy has 5, and Daphne and Scooby are with 6 each. So that is where we stand with MVPs and LVPs, and I'm excited to see who's going to take the overall top spot. Now, Miss Nicole, I almost called you Naomi, and that would have been just like offensive. That would have been racist to white people, just because two
Oh
funny
my god.
women
Women with N names that live in New York City.
with the same middle name also with that are funny and iconic and like
Brunette.
trailblazers and undeserving to of my friendship, or like not
Oh,
I'm undeserving of your friendship. That's so. Anyways,
oh,
I'm just
me.
so happy that
This
we're
whole guy.
friends.
That's the whole thing.
So I'll go first with the score. I gave it a 4.25 just because I'm looking at some of the other ones and I'm like, okay, here we go. I think this is on par with Where's My Mummy, probably a little better actually. But Aloha Scooby Doo is a 4.5, and I cannot, in good conscience, give
It
it.
could
It
never be that
cannot be
good.
the same. And Monster of Mexico, it's a 5. It's a perfect film. Cyber Chase also 7.75. I might actually bump Aloha in a little bit to 4.75 because I think, but it's also a little bit. It does not hold up in terms of like the Hawaiian stuff. But
That's
anyways,
valid. That's valid.
Nicole, what are you giving this? Because last time you gave Samurai Sword a 3.5, as did I, and as did Jacob. So we were all in lockstep. But how did you feel about this movie? First off, was it better or worse than Samurai Sword?
I think it was slightly better. I think
Okay.
the plot was a little bit more gripping. The Beretti thing was a little unexpected. Like there was identity theft. There was, there's a lot of drama in this movie. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Ooh, we love that.
4 out of 5 slays.
Slays, period. Let me add to the marker. So I got to ask you a question though.
Of course.
How did
I'm all
Deacon
ears.
get into this camp? Like, how did he change his whole identity? Like, who was he working with to become a child? And like, he had to like get some documentation to sign up for camp. Like, he had to get some. Like, when you start a new job, you have to do like a 99 and a W-2 and a W-4 and all that stuff. Um, as a kid, you probably need some documents so that you can go. And like, how did he have fake parents? Like, what's the
I
story?
mean, Camp Little Moose didn't sound that high tech, so maybe he just like forged a bunch of stuff. He said he was in prison. Maybe he got really scrappy in there. He's the real
Yeah.
Scrappy Doo from being in
Do you think he
prison.
met Scrappy in prison?
Probably.
Oh my god, I put 4 in the Jacob column. How dare me?
How do
Um,
literally how dare you?
Honestly, giving the credit of a woman to a white man, offensive.
Disgusting.
I need to be canceled. All right, so this also, if anyone was looking at the guest list, it is not up to date. I have to rework some of the stuff. But this is Scooby Doo Camp Scare. Nicole, any thoughts that we haven't hit on
Um,
before we talk quickly about Velma and do plugs?
I mean, I had fun.
Lovely.
Period.
You had fun. Anything that you'll remember and take with you into the future of your life?
Probably just like how slim thick all the ladies were in their animation. Everyone was looking on point.
And did you like this animation style more than the one that we had for Samurai Sword?
Yeah, I think it was a little glossier. I like the summer color palette. I liked how detailed the forest and the underwater scenes were. I think like they did a good job. It was very I mean like, oh, the production value through the roof here.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Exactly.
So I enjoyed Camp Scare. It was fun to revisit it. It was just like a nice little calming cartoon that I got to watch last night and this morning. And it was fun. So,
It added to
Nicole,
our lives, did not take away.
agreed. And this podcast, same thing. Mental health
Always
matters.
adds. Mental health matters. We are advocates.
Now, let me tell Nicole a little bit about Velma. We try not to keep this too long because Nicole is a girly and she probably has plans on this Friday night. But Velma is about Velma Dinkley. She is voiced by Mindy Kaling, and she is not white, and neither is Daphne, who is Asian and adopted by two police officers who are Wanda Sykes and Jane Lynch, and they are,
Lesbian
and
police
she's voiced by,
officers?
yes, and she is Constance Wu as the voice of Daphne. Um, we have Shaggy, aka Norville, as he goes by in this show, who is Sam Richardson. He is biracial. Norville. He is not a stoner yet. And then
Yet.
Fred, who's this measly little white boy who is voiced by Glenn Howerton, and he's a privileged little prick who. This whole story of Velma is her trying to find out what happened to her mother. So her mother, Dia, was taken 5 years ago or a couple years ago. Like she was doing this project called Operation Scoob, like trying to learn about like brainwaves and stuff. And that it's been a cold case. So she has like visions of monsters attacking her. She has a big crush on Daphne, but she also likes Fred. Norval likes her. And
So
all
love
these like
square.
yeah, and so all of these girls in high school, it's very meta. They get lobotomies So all these hot girls. So Velma's like, oh, we got to start this. What is happening here? So they look through it. Fred goes to prison for a while, and then he gets saved. Norval starts dating this girl named Gigi, voiced by Yvonne Orji. Nicole Byer plays Norval's mom, and she has a history. She's the principal at the school, so she ends up giving Velma the file of her mom's cold case. And at the end, do you care about spoilers?
No, of course not.
No. So we end up find out that Victoria Jones, aka Fred's mom, is the killer. She was trying to recreate Dr. Purdue's work, who is Nicole Byer's grandma, to make Fred a more competent person and switch his brain so that he could be a proper heir to the family company.
What is this, Succession? Yeah. It's giving Succession. It's giving Roy family.
Yeah. And the show was not good at the start. It did get better, but that's damning with faint praise because the show was not good. But however, it is renewed for season 2. Maybe it will get better. Shaggy, aka Matthew Lillard, vocalized his support to the cast of this, unlike his disappointment of the Scoob. And this is the second series to ever not feature Frank Welker as Fred Jones, but he voices Fred's dad.
So they keep it in the family. I like that.
Yeah, but it was a time. Like originally, I wanted to do like something about Velma, but then when the show was not that good, I was like, I'll just do it, tag it to some episode. But I think it's fun if you're a little high to watch, and you maybe like speed up the speed. But yeah,
and you know me, I love getting a little high. So
are you doing that again, or are you still on the break?
So I'm back in it,
and it's working.
I haven't had any issues so far. Let's not manifest.
We love that Nicole. Mental health matters.
Mental health matters, and I prioritized my mental health until it was too much.
And now Nicole can't go on The Amazing Race anymore, but it's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Now, Nicole, tell me what you're up to. Do you have anything to add about Velma, Scooby-Doo, or do you want to start doing the plugs?
Probably time for plugs. I've been running my mouth too long.
Let's do some plugs. Nicole, what you up to?
Nothing much. You can follow me on Twitter, Behind the Secret. I mean, I'm on TikTok. I don't really do much, but if you follow me, if I comment on a video that you see, it'll be at the top, and I'm always saying something out of pocket. So maybe follow me there.
Nicole saying out of pocket things?
So surprising,
right?
But yeah, I'm Behind the Secret all over the internet. The Top Chef podcast on Silent Podcast. We'll be doing it eventually. We're all busy, but you know, we'll be there.
It was much easier to podcast during the pandemic when no one had anything to do.
No, for real. I'm like, oh, I work full time. I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah. So Nicole, do you have a pop culture plug? What should people be checking out that is like in the media space? Also, if you want, it is Women's Month. If you want to give something highlighting women, directed by women, feel free. But it's also whatever you want to plug. And you are a woman.
I'm always highlighting women. Yeah. So I can do it. My body, my choice.
As you should.
Well, today is the day that Lana Del Rey released her new album. Did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? It's so good. Like, I really think that this is going to be like, people are going to regard it like they do.
Scare, right? The tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? That sounds like what happened in this movie.
Under Lake Big Moose, you know?
She's giving Big Moose energy, Lana Del Rey.
No, she has Big Moose energy. No, for sure. I love so many of the songs. Like, if you're a sad girl that loves shaking ass, like, there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard and I'll meet you there.
We love Nicole, like her mentality with music. Is it a good song if she can shake her ass to it? That we found out.
And if I can cry, even better.
Crying while you shake your ass?
Period. Name a more iconic Period.
Okay, gotta add another one. That's 13 so far. 2? Okay. 2, so we're at 14. Period. There 15. We go. 15. We got 15. In terms of me, you can follow me on all social media at Brazil Dragon Pod for the podcast stuff. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, Brazilian Dragon Podcast. You can find it all there. Also, subscribe on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcaster of choice. Would appreciate the ratings and reviews. Helps people find the podcast. So if you haven't, Would appreciate it. And if you want to leave one on the Brazilian Dragon podcast, I will read it on the next episode that I record. So
Woo!
would appreciate all that. In terms of me, you can follow me at What the Fleep on all social media, including Venmo, if you want to help support the arts of podcasting. I'm not at the point where I'm ready to get a Patreon, but it's something that I would like to do at some point. So just putting it out there. If you want to support the arts, it will go to me and this podcast and the art that you hear. So also on my Instagram right now, I am doing a bracket of Zillennial theme songs, just like for the audience to have their words. Because we get a lot of hate for our opinions sometimes, Nicole, on what we said on
Democracy
that
is
podcast.
important,
So I'm giving democracy inspired by Asian narcissist Kevin, who does hottest Supreme Justice, hottest political people all the time. So,
politicians of all
yeah.
varieties.
So he inspired me to do some Instagram polling. Right now we're at the Elite 8. Feel free to follow me out with the Fleep and cast your votes for it's our Zillennial theme song bracket was busted very early on.
I know,
people
how
don't
rude.
respect our podcast takes.
Weird.
And we're going to be doing more Scooby Snacks and Chats. I want to get another medium. Sorry, not medium made me. That's future plug. We're not ready to release those yet, but another Si Se Puede in the works. And do more fun stuff. If you have ideas for what we should be doing on the Brazilian Dragon podcast, feel free to tweet at me or at Brazil Dragon Pod, or email me, Felipe at BrazilianDragonPodcast.com. Plus, over on the What You Doing feed, which we got to get Nicole back on sometimes.
I'm ready.
We have finished season 2. We did Roller Coaster the Musical, and we did our season 2 of Phineas and Ferb Survivor Brant Steele drafting for Survivor Mango Chutney versus Blood versus Water. It's going to be Australian Survivor themed. Who will win? Team Mango Chutney, which is Navi's tribe, Team Blood, which is Will's tribe, or Team Water, which is my tribe. Navi stole my son, Nosy, so I'm personally rooting for Mango Chutney. But she also has, I will tweet the cast out. We're going to get that recorded sometime soon. Will's in Germany, so we might not all be able to make it just because
Guten
9 hours of
Tag,
difference.
Will.
Yes, if anyone's in Germany, tell Will recommendations at Davis, Will on Twitter. And finally, my pop culture plug, because Navi bullied me to watch it, is Succession, which is enjoyable. I still disagree with Navi's take that it's better than Better Call Saul. And I'm only judging it based on 1.5 seasons of both. But apparently season 3 is the bee's knees, the bomb.com. So we'll see. Maybe my opinion will change. And I'm excited to find out more. I can empathize with Broken Boy, Kendall Roy. At times. Not everything he does, but
thank God.
He's such a sad boy, and it makes me sad because I feel that his story has been relatable to me lately. And media meets you where you are, to quote my dad, Josh Wigler. Anyways, Nicole, do we have a hashtag for this episode?
Hashtag mental health matters.
Period.
16.
16.
Hashtag period tracker.
16 minutes that. Oh, you ruined it. Okay, never mind. I am going to high school musical film roast tonight with Sarah.
I love that.
And I'm excited. I don't think I'm mentally stable enough if they're going to hurt my feelings about this movie, but I'm excited to go. So with
You're
that
being
said,
brave.
Nicole, obrigado for joining me today, everyone. And until next time, see you later.